Welcome back to Twin Cap. We're going to be reviewing episode 5, season 1, episode 5 of Twin Peaks. I'm joined always by Jake. How you doing, Jake?
I'm eating a vegan dinner, and it's actually really good.
Excellent. Yeah, we're going to be struggling a little bit because we watched 2 episodes of Twin Peaks back to back, which we
If
normally
you
don't
haven't
do.
already, go back to our channel, find episode 4 recap, watch it now.
Yeah, go back and watch that. And we're going to be talking about 5. So we watch both back to back, but it's with Twin Peaks, it's so you can kind of get everything kind of confused and jumbled. So we're going to do our best to differentiate between the 2 episodes. So 4 was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. 5, this is the one where you really kind of start to feel the dread and the evil underneath the town of Twin Peaks. Right off the
Yep.
bat, the episode starts with Sarah Palmer, Laura's mom. She's talking to one of the deputies and describing the man she saw in one of her dreams, which is Bob, the scary guy we've been seeing. And then
Yep.
Um, as she's doing that, she also describes a vision of someone taking the heart necklace, which we saw at the end. I think it was episode 2. I think it was episode 1 or 2. And as we know, Donna is the one who hit it. So right off the bat, we're thrown into that. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts on any of those scenes?
Not really, man, other than it really struck me that this episode, like the whole thing is kind of driven by this idea. Like, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Sarah's vision of the gray-haired man, this whole police investigation, like even when they go to they find the one-armed man, it's all driven by like this woman had a vision and this man had a dream. You know what I mean? And it's
There's really no
completed.
substantial evidence at all.
It's completely driven by something that would not happen in real life, but it treats it as if it's like completely normal. Um, and it's like one of those like only in Twin Peaks kind of logics going on.
Yeah,
You know what I
and it
mean?
works because that could be seen as like a plot hole, but it really works for the show. You're like, yes, yes, like you need to tell the cop about your vision because that's who maybe did it. It's like he'll believe you. Just do it. They know he's part of the Bookhouse Boys. He knows. So
Anything goes up here in the mountains in Twin Peaks.
yeah, yeah. So that happens. It's very quick. It's just the opening of the episode, but then we go to your favorite character, Jacoby, the weirdo who is getting interviewed by Cooper, but he doesn't want to breach confidentiality and really doesn't give Cooper much, but he does describe a potential suspect driving a red Corvette, which is our good friend Leo, who is just
Right.
constantly everything is pointing toward this guy being like the root cause of why she is dead.
Mhm.
Everything. So any thoughts on that scene? Were you like surprise, surprise? Of course, he's the one in the red court, like him.
Well, for me, it's like this. It feels. It's probably not knowing the show, but it feels like a step towards. Excuse me. Holy shit. I just did a total burp, so you might want to edit that out. It feels like a step towards Leo getting killed, which I am all for. I want this motherfucker to die really bad. So I hope that this is a step in that direction. Um, but also, I don't like. He doesn't really seem to have opinions about Laura. Like he seems very like, even for him, he just seems kind of like not disturbed. Like not pressed about the whole Laura situation. Not even
Yeah.
in a way of like, oh, I killed her, but I didn't care about her. It just seems like he genuinely doesn't have, uh, like it seems like he's genuinely not really that connected to Laura. Now I could be way off about that, but that's just kind of my impression.
Yeah, the fun thing too after this, I wish I would have texted you this after we watched the episode because I'm not sure if you remember it, but there's a scene where after he interviews Jacoby, Cooper gets a call from a guy named Gordon Cole. We don't see him, but we hear him talking to Cooper about Laura's autopsy, and he's just offering insight into what happened. Do you remember this scene at all?
Only vaguely. I thought it was the same
He'll,
guy. I thought it was the guy that Sheriff Truman didn't like.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So Gordon Cole, he will pop in again in the show. That's David Lynch. So it's kind of cool. He's an
Oh,
actor, kind of. Yeah, he's good. He's good in the show. A small part, but he definitely he pops up again. Um,
rest in peace, my boy Lynch.
oh, dude, I miss him so much. Uh, are you still there?
I am sorry. I had to wipe my nose.
Oh, you're good.
I
You're good. I
didn't
was just
want
making sure
I
we didn't
didn't
lose
want the
connection.
viewers Didn't want the
No,
viewers to have to see me wipe my nose.
no, you're good. So after Gordon Cole talks to Cooper, the sketch is brought in, and Cooper, the sketch that Laura's mom describes as Bob, the gray-haired guy, is brought in, and Cooper sees it, and he's like, "Hey, that guy was in my dream too. Like, I know who that guy is."
Mhm.
After that, there's another call from one of the other deputies saying, "Hey, we found the one-armed man at this motel. Let's go." They get to him. His name is Philip. They learn that he is a traveling salesman, and he denies like any involvement in what happened. And he says he does not know who Bob is, the guy everyone is dreaming about. So you're kind of
Mhm.
just back to square one. Like I remember when I saw him, I was like, "This looks like the most harmless guy." Like he looks like he did absolutely nothing. What did you think when you saw Philip for the first
Yeah,
time? Do you remember?
I agree. He seems very harmless to me. I was looking up some stuff about this episode, and I didn't get a spoiler really, but I did see that he shows up in that room later on. Oops, spoiler! Light spoiler alert. Sorry. But he shows up in that dream world room thing that Agent Cooper dreamt. So I don't know. Maybe there is something to it. Maybe not. I don't know. He seemed like a normal. I mean, not normal. Nothing in the show is fucking normal, but he seemed innocent enough. There certainly wasn't like reason to suspect anything.
Well, that same motel, if you remember, we go over to Benjamin Horn, Audrey's dad, who is having an affair with Josie's sister-in-law, who is trying to take over, like just get rid of the sawmill. They don't want Josie to have it anymore, and we realize that they have plans to burn it down in the same hotel. So again, I mentioned in the earlier episode or last episode 4 that I didn't really care about that subplot of Josie potentially losing the sawmill and that being in danger, but I love it. Now, for some reason, I'm just like I'm very invested in that whole situation. So we get to see Audrey's dad kind of be a sleazeball and kind of see what their plans are. Um,
Oh, dude, that is
yeah,
the most like sleazeball who ever sleazeballed. Like
no, I
that dude
know.
is like he's like crony capitalism personified. Like just like the worst stereotypes of lawyers personified.
And then we see also Audrey's dad meet with Leo too to talk about having him maybe potentially be in on destroying the mill. So the characters we're kind of all starting to see them collide and see who's working with who. And yeah, so a lot. This is kind of again where you start to really see the evil intentions of Twin Peaks and the affairs, and it's a pretty bad place to live. It looks kind of cozy on the outside, but there's a lot going on in the inside, which is how it is for all small towns, as I'm sure you know.
Well, speaking of intertwined affairs, back to Shelley and Leo.
Yeah.
Like, I got a couple things to say about this. One, Shelley and Leo are married, but it seems like Shelley is also still in high school. Am I correct? Am I
I can't remember,
misinterpreting
but
that?
I think she is. I think she's older. I can't really remember, but she seems young, like way younger than Leo.
I mean, it's like noteworthy for small towns like that for someone to get married right out of high school. So in that
Hmm.
way, it's realistic. But I couldn't tell because she's cheating on Leo with Bobby. Bobby's a high school student,
You're
so
right. You're right. Maybe she is because we do see Bobby and her meet up, and he takes the bloodstained shirt, remember? From Shelley.
yeah. And
So
that's another thing where it's like I really want Leo to get a cap in his ass, but it seems like Bobby's on the way to getting a cap in his ass because he's fucking with Leo, and he just seems like this just I don't know. You never know, but it seems like one of those stories where no, he thinks he's gonna fuck me. I'm gonna fuck him, and then that's the guy who dies. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, it's yeah. And then after that, we see another big piece of, again, when it comes to Laura and her case, it just keeps getting more questions. They're answered, but it just causes more questions to be asked at the same time because we see Cooper, Truman, and Brennan. They go to this veterinarian connected to Gerard, who is, smuggling in the cocaine, allegedly. They find twine there that is the same type that was used to bind Laura. And not only that, they also believe that the bird that marked her body is also one of the animals being treated there. So now there's this whole, you know, veterinarian who might be involved, you know? So it's like, what is going on, you know?
I just feel like the point of the show, it's going to get to a point where it's like the point is that it's an ever expanding mystery. And actually, no one killed Laura because the death of Laura isn't the point. The point is always like literally like eternal plot twists or eternal additions to the plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the scratches they were caused by that bird that Jacques owns, and when they raid his home, that's where they catch Bobby. He's planting the bloody shirt in there as evidence. Remember that? And so they grab it
Mm-hmm.
and they just used it as evidence. So it's just like man. So you can see the main cast of characters, but it's just still like who did this? You know, who did
Mm-hmm.
it? Any thoughts on that with Bobby planting it, or were you
Not
surprised?
really. Not really. I mean, it seems very quintessential Bobby. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't. Leo's the only one I want to actively die. I wouldn't mind if Bobby died. He's kind of a shithead too.
Yeah, what do you
Um,
think about like for Bobby and James? James is the one who you remember James, right?
which one's James?
James is the guy who it's Ed's
The whole town, a
nephew.
whole fucking town to keep up with.
I know they kind of look the same. James is the one who fought Bobby at the funeral.
Right, right, right,
Yeah,
right. The
yeah.
guy with the leather jacket boy.
Yes, he is with Donna.
Right.
Kinda. Yeah, yeah. So he meets at the end of the episode, James meets Madeline, Laura's cousin, the one the same actress that plays Laura, and he's just like immediately kind of like falls in love with her. He's like, "Oh my gosh, who are you?"
Mm-hmm.
That happens, and it's like, "Oh great, here we go." So he's probably going to find another love interest. But the episode ends. I don't know if you remember this. The cliffhanger is Josie gets a call, um, and she's just like shocked. She just goes like, "Whoa!" But we don't know anything about the call. That's just how the episode ends. So you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Who? Who do you think called? What do you think? Who do you think called her?"
I don't know. It
Like
could be
any
her,
guesses?
could be Laura back from the dead. Could be fucking her. I don't know, her sister-in-law or
Truman?
dude. It could be fucking. Well, I mean, Truman. Truman's too obvious.
Yeah.
Like it could be fucking Leo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the one-armed man.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Yeah, there was a lot of progression in this episode because again, we find out about the bird that, potentially marked
Mhm.
Laura and you see the bloodstained shirt, Bobby planting that and this one-armed man, he doesn't know Bob. Is he guilty? Is he not? So Josie gets this call, it's just there's always so many more questions with every episode.
Well, let me ask you this. So we're now at the halfway point through season one.
I know, yeah.
Do you think that the first half of season one has adequately prepared me for the back half of season one? Or
Yeah,
do
no,
I,
for
I still
sure.
know?
You, I will say you get closure with like I don't want to spoil anything. There is closure, but the whole show is like this. The whole like you're just constantly like, let me get to the next episode. I've got to get to the next episode because it's so weird. You don't know what's going to happen. You know that there will be some answers, and you'll find out some new things, but it just gets weirder and weirder with the characters.
Okay, let me ask you another question. With season three, made in 2017, so about 10 years ago. Like, for this is kind of a rough analogy. This is not a perfect analogy at all, but like with the show Loki, 2 seasons, Disney Plus. It's kind of a spin-off of Avengers Endgame. Thor never shows up, but because Loki and Thor are so, associated with each other, Thor's presence is still kind of in the background the whole time. That Loki's story progresses throughout those 2 seasons.
Mhm.
Do you think? Would you say that Laura Palmer, even in season three, is her presence still kind of felt in some way?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, ultimately, the show is still like she's the Crocs, like that's kind of the reason for existing, but it does go beyond that. But I would say, yeah, for sure, like you still feel her even in the return somehow. I don't. I cannot wait for you to see it. Like I don't even know how to describe it without spoiling it, but it's
Yep.
always and you'll feel it too when you watch Twin Peaks Firewalk with me. Like that's a great I can't imagine people who watch like the first two seasons and then watch Firewalk with me and they were just left in the dark. Like there's no really internet to kind of find out what Lynch is doing. You're just like, I hope he does something else because the end of season two is not really satisfying, you know? But we get the return and like we're so lucky that we can watch Firewalk with me and go straight into the return. But sadly, like it is a really satisfying ending, but he easily could have kept going, you know, just with the show. It's meant to conclude, but
Somewhere in the multiverse, this show got 6 seasons in a movie. But
I know,
we
yeah,
got three
with
seasons in
a
a movie.
unlimited budget. But yeah, so we're gonna watch episode six soon. Any final thoughts before we go?
Um, let's hurry up and do the next podcast episode so we can watch episode 6.
I know, yeah, watch episode six and hopefully finish season one this week. But yeah, we will be back with a twin cap of season one, episode six soon. Stay tuned.